And President Trump delivers a scathing criticism of his former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, after the Breitbart chairman made several damaging statements against the administration. One America's Marty Golingan has more.
Well, Steve is very committed. He's a friend of mine, and he's very committed to getting things passed.
It's the dispute many Trump supporters thought would never happen. But in 2018, apparently anything goes, as former chief strategist Steve Bannon takes on President Trump.
If you want to see the Trump agenda, it's very simple. It was all in the speeches. He went around to these rallies, but those speeches had tremendous amount of content in them, right?
In an official White House statement, the president says Bannon lost his job and then lost his mind after he was cited in a new book criticizing the president's first year in office. The president says now that Bannon is on his own, he is learning that winning is not as easy as it may look, and that Steve had very little to do with his administration's historic election victory, but had everything to do with the Senate loss in Alabama. President Trump added Bannon does not represent his base and that he's only in it for himself. He says Bannon pretends to be at war with the media, yet he spent his time at the White House leaking false intel to news outlets to make himself seem more important. The president ended his statement defending the GOP Congress, saying there are many lawmakers who support rebuilding the country instead of burning it down, a direct hit to Bannon's war on the Washington establishment. Bannon has vowed to support and campaign with anti-establishment candidates for this year's elections. And with the new war of words between the two populist leaders, it could create further divisions among Republicans and conservatives. However, the White House shot down this notion, saying although the president is disgusted by Bannon's comments, his base support is unaffected.
I don't think it does anything to the president's base. The base and the people that supported this president supported the president and supported his agenda. Those things haven't changed. The president's still exactly who he was yesterday as he was 2 years ago when he started out on the campaign trail. His agenda hasn't changed, and he's continuing to fight for and push for that agenda. And I think the base is extremely excited and happy with the job that this president has done in his first year in office. Look at all he's accomplished. I think they're pretty happy with where he is.
President Trump's statement comes as Bannon was quoted saying harsh words about the president, his family, and the Russia probe for a new book called Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, which is based off of more than 200 interviews from past and present Trump administration officials. In those interviews, Bannon complains extensively about advisor Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, saying Kushner knows nothing about the president's base supporters and that Ivanka was the, quote, queen of the leaks. But it appears Bannon crossed the line after his statements about Robert Mueller's Russia probe. Bannon called the firing of James Comey a bad idea, and it's obvious Mueller is going after Jared Kushner, Paul Manafort, and Donald Trump Jr. following the infamous Trump Tower meeting in 2016, claiming the investigation is all about money laundering. The Breitbart chairman went further, saying Mueller's team is going to make Don Jr. crack like an egg on national television.
As we said, there's no collusion. There's no collusion whatsoever. But a lot of lawyers thought that was pretty sad.
In recent weeks, Bannon's Breitbart News has been actively discrediting the Mueller probe for political bias among investigators. However, President Trump is confident Robert Mueller himself will be fair and even-handed in his findings. As for the future relationship between the president and his former chief strategist, it appears all bridges have been burned. Marty Golingan, One America News.